Guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. This is going to be a Scent Safari episode. For those of you who don't know, Scent Safari is where I sort of reach out to a house that I don't have that much experience with. Ask them if they'll send me some samples. If they will, I pick out four, and then I talk about them on camera. Usually I'll put them on for the first time that day, and these are the first time I'm wearing these four fragrances, although I have smelled two of them before shooting of this video. And the house we're going to be looking at today is called Ayala Moriel, and I saw this house for the first time on the Base Notes 500 Best Modern Fragrances list, and I said, man, this house is popping up all over this list. I got to get my nose on some of this woman's stuff. And I reached out to her. She was unbelievably gracious and generous. She sent me 8 samples. As I said, I've picked 4, and we're going to go through them. Now, this is a natural perfume house. Perfumer Ayala Moriel creates scents inspired by her emotions and memories of her childhood, memories of the Mediterranean, natural and cultural landscapes. Her work is influenced by a background in fine art, music, philosophy, and education, which she incorporates into the art of perfumery. She understands the individual need for self-expression through personalized fragrance, and she also will do signature scents as well as ready-to-wear ones available on her website. And I think that's where you can purchase these as of now. I will link to the site in the description. Ayala was born in Montreal. She was raised in a small village in the Western Galilee in Israel. She learned to appreciate the natural aromatics of her world, like labdanum, mastic, broom, hyssop, and sage, which grew wild in the hills. She currently lives in Vancouver. And as I said, I've picked the 4 you see in front of you to go through. The first one we're going to go through is called Etrog. And Etrog is named after a certain type of citron, and she actually had hers tinctured by her family in Israel. And the other notes in this one are ambergris, honey absolute, Japanese mint balsam, poplar buds, citron tincture, etrog, pomelo peel tincture, apopanax, petit grain cedrat, frankincense, olive tree resin, green myrtle, lemon myrtle. Now you can get a 1 ml sample, which is what you see in front of you, for $18, up to $120 for a half ounce. And my God, guys, the citrus in this fragrance is insane. Anyone that thinks they're getting good citrus at Sephora or the discounter, my friends, you need to come over here, because boys and girls, the citrus in this one is insane. I am so excited by this mix of pomelo and citron with the mint. Holy shit. I mean, this one is insane, and it pulls off such a cool trick. You just go from that insane citrus to the scent that dries down to something very stout. You know, the problem with 98.7 very exact percent of citrus scent is they dry down to mishigash, and this one dries down to the olive tree and incense and myrtle, and it maintains the freshness, but then you get to go to something almost savory and dry, and it's this lovely juxtaposition of perfume. This is as good as citrus gets, guys. It can hang with any Xerjoff, any Creed, any Raja Dove. This is the truth, and it couldn't be a better first look for me from this house. So boom. The next one I want to talk to you guys about is the third one you see in front of you, and it's called Film Noir. And Film Noir is sort of meant to be as dark as a film noir plot. Very simple notes in this one. You're going to get Siamese benzoin, cocoa absolute, myrrh, and patchouli. Now there's different forms of this one. You can get a soap bar for $12, a sample for $18, up to $120 for that half ounce of EDP. And this one is just incredible. It's funky, it's dark. To me, maybe I'm gonna be off on this one, but it smells like really old paper, like in a book, like a vintage book, in a 100-year-old book. book, and I mean that in the best possible way. It's awesome. It smells like being in an old library. It's smoky and earthy and dank and damp, and it's just an incredible combination of these notes. The cocoa binds this one, not insanely powerful, which I think is a good thing, but just so natural smelling and so beautiful. And the quality of these materials is just, it's almost scary. How good it is. There's a scent by Serge Lutton called Berneo 1834 that's patchouli and cocoa, and I thought that was sort of the end all be all for patchouli and cocoa, and I think this one just bodies that. It's so much better, and it's just so much more almost 3D. It's like right in front of you. The notes are so intense and so real. The third one we're going to talk about is the second one you see in front of you, called Espionage, and she actually makes an Espionage chocolate bar for $12, or you could go for the bottle, which is $120. There are options in between. The notes on this one are ambret seed, bergamot, vintage cedarwood, orris root, rose otto, tobacco blonde, tonka bean, vanilla absolute, vetiver, gaiac wood, jasmine, and leather notes. Now with this one, I'm not gaga over this one the way that I am about the other two. To me, it does sort of have a leather jacket feel. It's sort of supposed to be, I think, a James Bond sort of scent with Espionage. It's sort of like salty and leather. I don't really get the muskiness that I usually get from ambret seed. I definitely get cedar wood in this one. It's woody, a little bit of tonka, very leathery. It's a leathery scent, but it's not like an oily leather. It's sort of more like a soft leather. Almost like a modern interpretation of Knees 10 in a way. Not as much floral to it. It's smoother than that, but to me, it just has like a saltiness to it. It's not bad. It's not a bad fragrance. I would wear it. But for me, it just can't hang with the other three in terms of like pop. The other three just really pop for me. The fourth one I want to talk to you guys about is called Forest Amber, and this one is unnamed as of now. There's no notes for this one. Ayala just sent this one to me, sent me a couple like that, so I was really excited about that. I'm going to do my best at describing this one. To me, it opens up really woody, forest-like woody. So there's definitely a woody base to this one. I would think there's some patchouli in here as well, but what I really get out of this one, and where this one for me goes pretty quickly, is to like a pine note, maybe balsam fir. There's some sweetness to this one, almost like a berry-like sweetness. It made me immediately think of a combination of two fragrances. The first one is another Serge Lutton called Fille en Aiguille, and the second one is a lesser-known scent by Steve McQueen called Mythic. And Mythic is a scent that's really centered around berries and pine. So for me, this one is woods, some forest funk, which maybe there's some patchouli, some vanilla, some resin, and then this note of pine-like tree sap with some berries. Now, the key word with these from Ayala is quality. These are insane. These are as good as anything else out there in terms of quality, development, power, and performance. Without a doubt, the two houses that I've enjoyed the most on Scent Safari, and we're probably close to episode 20 or 30 at this point, the two are Solstice Scents and Ayala Moriel. Both women, Angela and Ayala, are just working, I feel like, on another tier. And they love what they're doing, and it just so wonderfully comes across in their products. And there's no gimmick. There's no quirky bottles here. There's no marketing scheme here. It's just really high quality perfume made with passion and ingenuity and no shortcuts. And I really have enjoyed my brief time with these Ayala Moriel scents. It's not a name that gets really any recognition in our community, the online fragrance community, and especially with fellow YouTube reviewers. And I need you guys to go check this line out and help hype this house up, especially my Canadian reviewers out there, because this is as good as it gets. And I mean it when I say, you think of the big names: Baraja, Zerjov, Amouage, Luton, Creed. Guys, I'm telling you, and you know, try to smell everything. This is as good as any of those fragrances. On an indie level, this is Andy Tower as far as I'm concerned. It's that quality. It's that type of quality, that level of ingenuity and sophistication and class. These are regal fragrances, really fit for royalty, and there's no reason for me to say that other than it being the truth. So please check these out. Any questions on Ayala Moriel, I'd be more than happy to try to answer for you. And again, look, please go check this house out. I just can't say it enough. I'm going to link to the site in the description. And of course, I'll see you later this week with more videos. Guys, you know what it is. My name is Maximilian, and I must know.